Careful out there, friends. I think the moment we understand that God naturally is a multiplier, we would understand that God's math is something that is just going to happen for us. I don't know if you've heard my story, but 11 years ago, I filed bankruptcy. Why? Because everything I was doing, that was what I was doing multiplied. That was the harvest that I got for the seeds that I had planted. So when the minute you realize that, oh, wait a minute, he naturally multiplies. When he gave us our first commandment, he says, be fruitful, multiply. Okay. Why? Because he already says that when he calls us fruit, that the seed is within ourselves. So that means whatever is in us, when it is out of us, that is what we're going to see multiply. Everything is a seed. Habits is a seed. And let's not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. What is that telling us? Everything you're doing, those habits, those good patterns, your character, you doing good when everybody else is doing bad, you being in the world but not of the world. He's saying just keep going, just keep going. Don't get weary, because you will reap a harvest for your actions. Knowledge is a seed. He says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because they have rejected the knowledge. I will also reject thee. That's a harvest. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. That's a harvest. That's the seed you planted when you rejected knowledge. So that means if you receive knowledge, then you give that to your children. Guess what it also says? It says that when you train up a child in the way that he should go, when he grows older, he will not depart. That's seed work. That's harvest work. And is a seed. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. It shows us wherever you sow, whatever you consistently do, you do it again and again and again. If it's negative, you will reap your harvest. If it's positive, you will reap your harvest. Why? Because God is a multiplier. Giving is a seed. But this I say unto you, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall also reap bountifully. Your giving is a seed. That's 2 Corinthians 9:6. Development is a seed. When you go through personal development, when you spend some intentional time making sure that you're a better person, that's a seed. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all thy getting understanding. That's Proverbs 4:7. Words are a seed. My favorite. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. The fruit. What does that mean? The definition of the word is the seed, and whatever you spew out of it, because you just say whatever. Y'all just say whatever. Whatever you spew out of it, those seeds pop out of your mouth, they go into the ground, and they show up like a harvest in your life. That is Proverbs 18:21. Thoughts are seed. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if they be of any good virtue, and if there be of any praise, think on these things. Why? Because he says you have to hold every thought captive, because it's a seed. It's a seed. It's a seed, and you will reap harvest.